Resident Evil 5 is pretty much confirmed without it actually being confirmed. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played the RE4 remake, but the ending of Separate Ways all but confirmed that Wesker ain't done. I mean, you can see the underground plants and Excella on the big screen Wesker is watching, so we know it's coming. But what of it? Well, I wanted to break down 3 key things that I feel Capcom needs to nail if they want to make this remake as good as the RE4 remake. Now, deep down, we all really want the RE5 remake to bring back the kind of intense, spooky horror that made us fall in love with the earlier games. But as this is a remake, I can't imagine the developers would do a complete 180 and make the game all-out survival horror. Really wouldn't make sense. I mean, I even made a video about why I feel RE5 is one of the best in the series, but we need to tread carefully here. However, with that being said, I feel they absolutely can add horror elements to the storyline to really fill the gap that the original left behind. In simple, keep the action, but add in more horror. Well, how would they do this, you ask? Well, I feel given the various stages you had, some of the settings were really dark and atmospheric, and there could have been a little bit more scare to it, for lack of a better term. I mean, you had underground labs in the game, but nothing really that had you on the edge. If they could somehow add some real intense and atmospheric horror, I genuinely think the levels in this game would work wonderfully. So getting the mix of action and horror just right is key for the RE5 remake. This is where they failed in the original, and if they nail this, this can be an absolute bestseller. Yes, controversial, but that's what I think. The first game was known for its exciting action, but lots of us missed the really scary parts from the earlier games in the remake. So in the remake, we want moments of big action, but also times when you do feel genuinely scared and vulnerable. Having, less stuff, facing smarter enemies and dealing with dangers in the environment would make you think fast and be brave. So the mix would keep the game true to its roots while still giving us that rush of action that we loved in RE5. Well, the rush of action I loved anyway. The AI. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one here. We're all hoping to see Sheva's AI get way better in the remake. The first game was a trailblazer for playing together. I loved it. I really did. I've spoken about my annoyance at the Resident Evil 0 zapping system and how it just did not work. But as far as RE5 is concerned, I thought it was actually quite well done, except a couple of things. So there is a lot of agreement around Sheva and how she could be a lot more smarter in this game. Imagine an AI that not only fights off threats smartly, but also knows what you need, offering help right when you need it, and doesn't waste all your damn bullets. She could match your playstyle, whether you like sneaking around or jumping right into the fight. I can't begin to tell you the amount of times I was just slowly moving around the map and Sheva would just run ahead without a care in the world. Beyond fighting, a smarter AI could help solving puzzles and finding things, which I found really sucked in RE5. So I guess they could, really add an extra element to the puzzles where both of you had to work together. Now this would make playing by yourself smoother and teaming up with Sheva a lot more fun. In the original, there were times where I had to heal or needed ammo, and she would help out. And then there were times where she wouldn't. So it was this sort of inconsistency that really bloody annoyed me. So I find myself playing most of the time with a human, a friend. Now, I have no doubt that AI would be improved in this game. After all, it is a remake, but since RE5 sucks and does not deserve a remake, I really, really hope they nail the AI in RE5 if the remake ever came to fruition. Added content. So let's start with Lost in Nightmare. So we did get a peek into the infamous Spencer Mansion, which is essentially a cornerstone of Resident Evil lore. But just as we started sinking our teeth into it, it felt like it was over too soon. So what if Capcom expanded this into a more substantial exploration? Picture delving deeper into the halls, uncovering hidden rooms not seen in the original game, each holding some sort of a clue to Umbrella's early experiments and the origin of the virus, I guess. What about the flashbacks, the black and white ones? Let's not just watch them, let's play them. Imagine controlling Jill and Chris as they navigate past horrors in a beautifully reconstructed mansion, piecing together the puzzle of, the downfall of Umbrella. This could be a goldmine for fans, offering a richer narrative experience and more of what, that delicious survival horror gameplay that we all craved. Then there's Desperate Escape, where Jill and Josh fight tooth and nail to escape the facility. It's action-packed, but it just leaves so much room for expansion. What if the escape was just the beginning? What if you could explore more of the facility, maybe even attempt to sabotage Tricell's operations along the way, or even add missions where you need to gather evidence of their involvement with the virus, or, add a bloody rescue captured locals before making your escape. So this could add layers of strategy and dilemmas, which kind of pushes the narrative beyond just surviving and fighting. Both of these expansions could serve to fill in the narrative gaps, especially around the virus's path to Africa. I guess when the game originally came out, heading over to Africa, it was completely new. So for one, when I played it when I was 16 odd or something, kind of didn't make any sense to me. I just wanted to get straight into it and just start blasting good old zombies. So I guess they could fill the gap in and give you more, let you play it a little bit rather than just giving you cutscenes, which explains why you are ending up in Africa. Now, instead of relegating, as I said, the cutscenes, which some of us might skip, or admittedly I skipped a lot, integrating it into the gameplay could have made the story more engaging, as I said. So finding pieces of evidence, interacting with characters who've witnessed the virus's impact, or even flashbacks that let you witness the virus's original arrival could make the story richer and I guess more immersive. Now, I know some of you may disagree, but listen, that's what makes gaming culture so diverse and unique. We all have our own opinions. Now, here's the kicker. None of this should come as extra content that digs deeper into our wallets. So Capcom has a chance to build on the goodwill of the Resident Evil community by offering these expansions as part of the base game. It is about enriching the experience for everyone, not just those willing to pay extra. After all, the series, or rather the stories of Lost in Nightmares and Desperate Escape are actually integral to the RE5 narrative, so fleshing them out would only enhance the game's legacy. So that just about wraps our deep dive into RE5 and what it could be. Obviously, still some time away. We don't know whether it's going to be coming out anytime soon yet or when it's going to be announced. It is a chance, I guess, to bring back a classic, but add a little bit of horror into it. Yes, it was all out action, but I genuinely feel if they add some horror elements to it, they could make this game an absolute cracking game. So I genuinely feel that they should really listen to the feedback from the original game and add in those horror elements. So 3 things that I feel they should include or pay more attention to for the remake for when it does come out. If you agree or disagree, I'd be quite keen to hear. I genuinely am interested, so just pop in the comments below because I found myself playing RE5 the other day. And do consider subscribing if you found this video enjoyable at all. I'll catch you folks in the next video.